Hi, my name is Galit from Astrology Dome, and many people are writing to me if I do chart readings, private chart readings. And I gotta tell them that I'm not doing one on one anymore. I used to do that, but I just don't have time. So I've decided to start a YouTube series of doing chart readings online and showing you guys what is a chart reading, what's going on in a chart reading, and how I read a chart. So I'm going to pick out one person a week and post those readings. Obviously, a reading is a very personal thing, and sometimes many personal issues comes up. So I always consult that person that I read their chart if they're okay posting it, and if not, we edit parts of it and just post the parts that they can approve. So it stays very confidential. So if you like to participate and you would like me to read your chart for free online, you'll have to agree that it will be posted on YouTube. Head to my Instagram account, Astrology Dome, and tag 3 or 4 of your friends that you think that may benefit from my content about astrology. And every Friday, I will choose a winner, and I will let that winner know who they are, and we'll do a chart reading. Sounds good? All right, let's start. First of all, so nice to meet you, Say, and thank you for the opportunity to
Thank
be.
you so much. Thank you for inviting me for a reading. I obviously am a fan of your content.
Thank
And you're just so precise, and also you simplify it, and you allow us to be intuitive with your instructions. So I really appreciate that. So thank you so much for having me.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, you're the first person that I'm doing it. I want to start doing chart readings and just post some of it out there, not all of it, because chart reading is a very personal thing.
Mhm.
So I will edit this and whatever. I'll get your permission to post whatever we think, both of us think that is postable. Okay.
Oh, sounds
So we'll
great.
start. We'll start with your natal chart, who you are, and then we'll move to what's going on right now. And I
Mm,
want to share a screen with you so you can see your chart. Okay, can you see that?
yes.
All right, awesome. So this is your chart. I don't know if you saw it before or not, but as you can see, you have Sagittarius rising, and what
Oh,
struck me.
really?
Oh, you didn't know? Okay.
I
So
had no idea. Okay.
is this correct? Let's just verify. October 5th, 1994, 11:57 a.m. in
Yes.
Jersey City. Correct. Yeah. Okay. It's good to verify it's Mercury retrograde. We don't want any confusion here.
Right.
So with Sag rising, you're that very optimistic, jolly person, very nice, very friendly, very spontaneous, and willing to. You're always up for an adventure. If somebody invites you, you'll go, and that's really nice. Especially that your chart ruler, which is Jupiter, is right here in the 11th house, and it is in Scorpio. But let's talk about the 11th house. Your chart ruler in the 11th house says that you probably have a variety of friends, all kind of different friends from different kinds of friends, and you love to be with them, and they love to be with you because you bring that happy, easygoing, nice personality into the group, and you're always part of a group, some sort of a group, and you may have different groups that you belong to. So that's really nice. It's kind of showing that you're a very broad perspective personality, and you also bring Jupiter Venus, which is a beautiful conjunction here. And that means you bring a very loving energy. It's not just that you're nice, you're very loving, you're caring, you're that friend that everybody loves to have, because if somebody would ask you to help them, you'll be there. You're a good friend, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful aspect, and it's in Scorpio, so that means you care also not just for the connection of friendship, but you also care for the depth of it. So with
Mhm.
some friends, you really go deep, and your connection is really, really strong, and you allow yourself to be transformed by them, and they transform, and you transform them. You know what I mean? It's a deep communication. It's not just on the surface. It goes deep. It's real. And
wow. I mean, I absolutely resonated with that. I don't mean to interrupt you. But yes, first of all, I did not know I was a Sagittarius rising. I always thought my big three were in Libra, but that's very, very interesting to hear. And yes, I think with friendships, I always tended to look for like a very deep connection. And even when I first go on like dates or I first meet a friend, I have this tendency to talk about very deep things. It's just who I've always been. And sometimes it's offset some people, and other times it was an immediate click. So yes, wow.
it's interesting because look at your Mercury. Mercury is here in Scorpio, and so you tend to go deep no matter what. It's your personality, and we'll talk about it more later when I'll tell you what's going on right now, because you are going deeper actually, and you're discovering more about yourself, and you like that. You like the transformative process of your evolution. You actually you're thirsty for it. You strive for it. So it's beautiful to see that you can do it with your friends. Also, well, first let's talk about this: the sun and the moon on top of your chart in the 10th house in Libra. How awesome it is when to see someone that their sun and moon are in the same sign. And that means that you have a good synergy between your male and female energies, right? The sun is our male part, the female is our, the moon is our female part, and they're both in Libra. So they are collaborating. And in the sign of Libra, they're definitely into collaboration. So you are that person that would like to collaborate, that would like to bring harmony, that would like to bring beauty. You're all about relationship, and you know how to be very diplomatic. Through your whole chart, I see signs of diplomacy, whether it's the sun and moon in Libra, in the 10th house, which is also the house of diplomacy. Here, the Jupiter Venus is also a sign of diplomacy, and Jupiter being the ruler of your chart. So I know you're an artistic person because it's all over your chart, and I'm sure of it. However, I also am suspicious that you can be a good diplomat and be a good ambassador for whatever organization you're going to belong to. Have you run into any experiences like that?
Absolutely. I think any workplace I've ever gotten into, I have always somehow been the mediator between the manager and the fellow employees. And I would always say, but think about it this way. Or how would you feel if you were in his or her shoes? Or it must be very stressful. How can we, make this easier for him or her? Or I would also be the voice to mediate between the employees to the authority figure. So yes, I definitely am some kind of diplomat. However, that has led me into situations where I couldn't hear my own voice because I was constantly putting myself in other people's shoes and doing my best to make their lives better, if you could say. Right. Yeah.
No, I totally get that, because having the moon here in that position in Libra could be a people pleaser. So really wanting to be liked. And it comes from an old program that you're probably running from your house, your mom that told you, be a good girl, behave nice, that voice in your mind that you really try to be that good girl and always try to be the best that you can for everybody, which you find out with life that you cannot feel that unless you give up from your personality, which you don't want to do because you are a strong personality. It's not that you're weak at all, But sometimes in order to bring harmony, you kind of put yourself in the back seat. But you are going through a transformation right now that allowing you to find your voice on deeper levels and connect with yourself in a more profound way. And we'll get to it in a minute. So just to kind of wrap up the chart, or at least parts of the chart, because I want to talk about this Mars here, Mars in Leo, in the 8th house. So 8th house is the natural house of Scorpio. And you have a lot of Scorpio energy here. Actually, your North Node is also in Scorpio, and North Node is where we're going to. So it's part of your karma to master that Scorpio energy. And Scorpio energy is all about transformation, regeneration, going deep, understanding. It's a lot of psychology energy, but a lot of spiritual energy as well. So are you relating to that?
Absolutely. Again, uh, hmm. I don't want to say, okay, I'll say this. I went to a psychic a few years ago, just out of a whim, because I always felt extremely intuitive my entire life. And I did have a very tumultuous childhood and adolescence. So that was kind of pushed down. But as soon as I gained financial independence from my family, I decided, okay, why not, for the heck of it. So I went, and he actually did say I'm extremely intuitive and I do have a psychic gift. I have predicted many things in my family's lives, like certain events, um, genders of babies, etc., what's going on in work. So yes, very much so.
So just regarding the childhood, I looked at your house cusp here, the 4th house cusp at 29 degrees Pisces. And Pisces house, that's the house you're coming from. The 4th house is where we're coming from. And Pisces house is always, there is something vague. Some things are not said. There's always an undercurrent that is not really clear, and it confuses us or you as a child. And you also have Saturn in Pisces in the 3rd house. So maybe you were supposed to be the responsible one to take responsibility, maybe too early, maybe for your other siblings, if there are other siblings, but definitely it wasn't easy for you, and you were not allowed to say what it is that you really wanted. You were had to play a role that they put you into that role, and you were not free to express who you are. So I think you're carrying that inhibitions of speech and saying your truth until today, but you're getting more aware of that, and you're processing it, and you're becoming more free. Is that something you can relate to?
Wow, yes, because so I'm the youngest child, and my sister and I have a really large gap. She's 7 years older than me. But in my childhood, around the time when they had me, my parents had just picked up their business and they were working 60-hour shifts. And I come from parents that were immigrants. So, the American dream, they were working hard, hard, hard. When they had my sister, they still had the time to spend with her. But when they had me, they were then in the hustle mode. So they couldn't spend that much time with me. And so during my whole childhood, I was very much alone. And I had to figure a lot of things out by myself. My sister was also going through adolescence when I was young, so she wasn't always home as well. And the latter part that you were saying, I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, the speech. I had to compress my feelings and my what I wanted to say so much that I actually I developed a stutter when I was in my teenage years. And that just became worse and worse and worse until I ventured into music. And that's the way I was really able to express myself. And you know, many events happened even through my 20s. I'm still in my 20s, but in my teenagers and my younger 20s, I went through many traumatic events and it got worse and worse. I think just this year, just 2020 to 2021, I was really able to recognize that I can be eloquent and I can create my own destiny, my own life. Um, and you are 100% correct, 200% correct. I'm going through something extremely transformative right now that just this energy, and I'm sure you'll be able to tell me. But yes, that's what I'm going through.
It's so beautiful what you just said, because Pisces and Saturn in Pisces in the third is music is so perfect as a healing
Wow.
thing. It's just so perfect because there are no words, you know, it's too vague. So you put it out in music. How beautiful is that for you that you found that? I'm very happy
Oh,
for you.
yeah.
So yeah, I want to yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about Mars because we kind of went sidetracked, and Mars in the eighth house could be, and I'm not sure we're going to put this in the recording or not, but I do want to touch that. It could be sexual, and it could mean that a lot of sexual activity would be sometimes, you know, could be unexpected, could be traumatic, could be all kind. So it's just food for thoughts. I don't know if you want to get into it or not, but just watch your sexuality, watch your boundaries in sexuality, and how you come together with someone else, how you merge with other people. It's really important that you keep yourself to yourself and only give permission to yourself and to others according to your truth, and not to be pleasing or anything to anybody.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, I think, gaining that grasp and authority in my mid 20s now. But before my mid 20s, that was always a power struggle that I had for sure. And not just sexuality, but the way that people can penetrate into my lives, um, whether especially romantic partners or people that were like prospective romantic partners, very difficult. Um, yeah, very difficult. I had a lot of traumatic experiences as I touched on. So,
Right.
wow.
And they're all touching about that axis of control and lack of control, power
Mm,
and powerlessness. So you're coming from a place that of powerlessness, that you didn't feel powerful enough, and you're learning. This is your transformation to learn how to be powerful. And say you want to be powerful. You are powerful. It's not that you're not, but you're learning how to become that. Sun and Moon in the 10th house, you're bound to be a public figure. You will be there, and you want to. You have the desire and you have the capabilities. So it's just a matter of finding the right avenue for you to become that. I have no doubt that you will be a public figure, and I have no doubt that you are already uh, how should I say that, an important figure in your group, whatever group that is. You're always an important figure in that group.
So, wow, this speaks uh, to a certain part in my soul and my heart that I have recently been able to embrace, because since I was young, I always knew I am going to be known, but not for a conventional reason. I always just knew, even though I was very nerdy or I was very overweight as a young child, I was never the popular one, but I always knew there's going to be one day where I know I'm going to be known. And I think right now, during this transformative time, I'm really finding my authenticity and being able to like grow into it and take it. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
And yeah, I'm really finding that niche that I'm able to be a public figure in. That's actually what I'm trying to manifest for the next 12 months. I'm on a fun little experiment. And I quit my job, and I told myself for the next 12 months, I'm going to give it whatever it takes to influence people for the betterment of their lives. Because how beautiful is it that I'm taking this time to become my authentic self, putting joy in front of everything. And I really want to document that process and encourage other women, men, anyone from any background um, to encourage that spirit. So,
Beautiful.
yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I want to touch about that, the fact that you said that you were overweight, and I don't know, this Jupiter Venus here is, and Jupiter being the ruler of Sagittarius, it means that you were indulging in food as a cover up for emotions. As well, we all know that, but it's that Jupiter makes everything grow bigger, and being the ruler of the ascendant is being the ruler of your body. So that is the reason. And Venus is all about the good things in life, chocolate and sugar and all this. So obviously it was happening, but now you're taking it to the higher level of Jupiter Venus, which is diplomacy, which is the teacher of love, right? Jupiter. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. All right, let me see if I can, I want to bring your transits chart. So I'm going to stop that. Oh. Can you see this one? It's your solar return. And it is the solar return for October 4th, 2020. That is your last birthday. And the reason I'm doing that is to see what was the main motive of that year, 2020, until your next birthday. That's why we do solar return. It's when the sun returns to its original place, which is in your birth chart, it's 12 degrees of Libra. So here's the sun, but now it occupies the 8th house. And the moon and Uranus are occupying here the 3rd house. So the sun in the 8th house says regeneration, rebirth, transformation. And as you said, you were going through all this through that time, and you still are in that mode of operation, going through your self-rebirth. It's in Libra, and it's in the 8th house, but the moon is in your 3rd house. And the moon is all about our emotions. So I think, and the moon is conjunct Uranus. So I think what happens here is that you allowed yourself freedom, Uranus, in the 3rd house, and you allowed your emotions to show. Where if before you were kind of closed and you only showed your emotions to your group of friends, now you're going out public. It's the 3rd house. You're speaking about it. You're more open about it. You are discovering your voice and how to speak it. 3rd house, what to say, how to say, and it's in Taurus. So I wonder, why Taurus? Are you doing it through any kind of art? Are you doing it? How are you doing it? What is your mode?
Oh man. I am a very imaginative and visual person. I have always been, but I think before 2020, I really pushed it down, and I told myself this narrative that I am, I'm operations based and I'm great at customer service and I'm like this and I'm like that. Also because my previous manager, boss, she was a very artistic person, and she would always tell me, you're better at, the analytics or the operations. So I kind of denied myself that for a long time until 2020. I quit that job and I said, no, I actually, you know what? I am visual, I'm imaginative. And throughout 2020, I would say I let myself do whatever I wanted. I painted a little bit, I drew, I let myself wear things that I normally wouldn't have. So I did experience so much freedom. And in 2021, what I'm doing is I'm trying to refine that into mediums where I can express it. That has been a little bit more of the challenging part, but I like that challenge because it's bringing me joy, because I feel like a child almost, you know. I'm like rediscovering myself on what I like, and what I'm better at, and how can I, like, every day do one thing better in that medium. So at the moment, my medium of expression is YouTube, and trying to create beautiful content and motivating content for people all around the world, that whoever would need it. And the second thing would be, I have this little side project that I'm still in the works of in my mind, but there's so much clothing that is dumped into these secondhand shops and thrift shops, and I'm trying to gather all of the, you know, clothes that, and give them a second life, and sew them together, stitch them together, see what I can create, and then hopefully sell them. So those are the two mediums that I'm feeling very passionate about right now.
How beautiful. And it's in your third house, so this is the house of learning, so you're still learning, but you're becoming. That's what I want to say. You're becoming, and you allow yourself the freedom. It's Uranus, it's the ruler of this chart in Taurus. So on the one hand, physical things, Taurus, substance, Taurus, clothing, things that you can touch. But on the other hand, the artistic sense of being free and doing whatever it is that you want. And I bet that you have all these impulses of ideas that just come, and you experiment. You're reinventing yourself and your talent, actually. That's what it is. And I love it. I think also the North Node and South Node here are, North Node is in your fourth house, so you're kind of creating your home base new. It's creating your security. What is, how you feel secure, and where is your home, your emotional home. I think you're laying a great foundation for the rest of your life right now. So that's a great thing to see. I want to show you now something amazing, which are your transits. So this was a solar return. I just wanted you to see where the sun is and that you're going through this year of transformation. But let's move to your transits, and I'll stop. Maybe I don't have to stop the share.
Quick question. When does the solar return end? Does it end?
Yeah, your next birthday. You will have another solar return. So yeah, you know what? That's a good question. Let's do the other solar return. Here we go. Solar return for 2021. Let's see your next. Okay. This is your solar return for next year. Gemini. Oh my goodness. Look at that. 19 Gemini on your next year ascendant. We just had an eclipse at 19 Gemini. So you are bringing that energy right there and then into your personality. You're really getting it. That's so nice to see. And that's a whole new vibe. You're saying, hey, world, here is the new me. I'm coming forth and I'm ready to communicate about it, Gemini. And I'm ready to show you what I have learned, Gemini. The sun is in the fifth house of creativity together with Mars and Mercury in Libra. Definitely creative, definitely. You know what? Relationship is a big part of what you will be talking about, I think. Relationship between people and relationship between one to themselves. I think this is part of your topic. And love is definitely part of your topic with all this Libra energy. And you have the moon in the fourth, talking about security and emotional security in Virgo, which means healing your emotions, healing your pattern, healing where you're coming from, and how to build a new foundation. That's how I would interpret that. North Node in the 12th house. So there's a lot of spiritual energy that you're bringing with you. And your lucky planet Jupiter is in the 9th. You're catering to everybody, to many people, many different people from all over the world, as you said, from different countries. And Neptune in Pisces in your 10th bringing a spiritual, beautiful spiritual message of unconditional love, of beauty, of creativity. Yeah.
Wow. So the night before, last night, I actually did an exercise for what I want to take off my Instagram and YouTube channel with. And I just started writing, just writing. And the most prominent themes were, you are correct, the relationship between the self and the relationship with others. I knew that as soon as I started my new Instagram and YouTube channel that I wanted to create a community, and that's why my username is called Generation Say, and it means generation of compassion and curiosity and love and all of that good stuff that you just said. But I knew that that has to come within me first. So that's why I'm doing so much ego work, so much inner work, shadow work, and to go back to my relationship with food and treating it as a act of self-love, feeding myself, going out for a walk as an act of self-love. So it's good to know that in my new solar return, I'll keep doing that because I know I will.
Yeah.
And quick question, when we started off with, it was Sagittarius and Jupiter? Or
Sagittarius rising, Jupiter, the ruler of your chart. Yes.
ah, um, or oh, with the new solar return, you said something was in Gemini.
Here, that you have a Gemini ascendant on your new solar return, and it's actually the same degree as we just had an eclipse. So the new moon that we just had 2 days ago, eclipse, is really bringing you into this new solar return that you're having next year from your birthday forward in 2021. And you are a speaker already. The Gemini is already a speaker. It brings you the ability to speak. Where's Mercury? Mercury, the fifth house. Yeah, in the fifth house. Still, it's retrograde. That means you are still preparing your speech, but you're already out there, Still growing it, but already it's a baby, but you're out there with it. You give birth already. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I'm very excited.
So exciting. Okay, I don't want to save this, but I do want to bring the transits, and your transits are just great. All right, so I'm sharing your transit. So you're in the inner circle is your chart, and it's the same ascendant and the same chart that I showed you before, but the outer circle shows where the transits planets are currently. And I got to show you this. This is amazing. It kind of blew my mind when I did your chart yesterday. You see that you have a natal chart at 0 degrees Leo in the 8th house. And look at the transiting chart look at the transiting Mars today. 0.
Oh, yes.
This is bingo. You have a Mars return today as we speak. It's like, what are the odds that this will happen? I've never seen this happen before. So
oh my God.
Yeah, I think it's great. And Mars, we have a Mars return every 2.5 years. So it's not as common as you would think. But whenever Mars returns to its natal position, it gives us a boost of energy because it says to our natal Mars is the urge to move and to do. It's that part of us, it's that male part that is going hunting. If we want something, if Venus says, hey, Mars, I want to become that, so Mars goes and get it. So it's that yang part of us, the doer. And your Mars is in Leo in the 8th. So your Mars wants to transform, wants to be powerful in the best sense of the word. It's not a bad thing. It is a really good power. It's a sense of power, owning your power and becoming powerful to transform others as well. And here comes Mars in the sky, and it's returning to your natal position, saying, you're ready. Let's do it. You're ready. So it's beautiful to see it.
How long does that last, by the way?
Well, the return itself is just the few days that it will be here because it moves fairly quickly, not like the moon, but a degree to. So you would have that week. So this week, and it's a beautiful timing for you because it's right with the new moon. So for you to make your wish list is a very powerful time right now, because it will happen. Just keep programming, keep putting it out there, be very clear about what you want, and you'll see results. It's just perfect timing. I want to talk about that. The stellium in your seventh house, North Node, Mercury, and Sun. The new moon just happened here. The eclipse just happened here. And I was wondering if there is a new relationship that just came to your life.
I am in a romantic relationship. We've been together for 4 years. However, for the first 3.5 years, it was a disaster. Very recently, it's like we first met. And very recently, I just don't know how to explain it. We were able to just connect on a completely different level, forgive all the things that happened in the first 3 years, understand each other. We work in harmony with each other. And I feel like we fell in love all over again. But that's something. In terms of friendship relationships, yes. I'm working with a mindset and manifestation coach, which happened last month, I think. Yeah, around last month. It's been beautiful. Again, this transformation, it's bringing new people in my life, which is telling me that I'm just getting closer and closer and closer to really being my authentic self in my career and in my entire life. So yeah, those are the two relationships that come to me.
Beautiful. Yeah, this whole thing here, the stellium and the solar eclipse that was here, I love to hear that it gave you a new beginning to your relationship, because that's what it does, a new beginning. And I'm glad you took the opportunity to do that and open up a whole new way of communication, as you said, Gemini. So that's a perfect example. I want to touch on something else now. And I see that you have Jupiter. The transiting Jupiter is at 2 degrees Pisces. It's in the sky. Your Saturn is at 6 degrees Pisces. You're going to have Jupiter over your Saturn club in the next few months. Jupiter will go retrograde to Aquarius, but it will come back. And I feel that whenever we have Jupiter Saturn, it gives Saturn, which is our structure and our boundaries and our kind of teacher, it gives it a boost of expansion, and also it's a business transit, in my opinion, that says, okay, it's time to expand. It's time to teach. It's time to speak, third house. It's time to show the world. It's time to do. It's time to write. It's time to expand on all of that. So I expect that in the next 6 months or so, you will come out with something that is, maybe you're going to write something, maybe you're going to produce something, because Pisces is also about the film industry. It's also about any kind of video that we're doing. You will come out with something that is new for you, it's fresh, and it's coming out from you. And it's beautiful, it's expanding.
This is blowing my mind. Oh my gosh, because when I was on the verge of quitting my job, which was about 4 weeks ago, I gave in my 4 weeks notice. I started creating a list of possible income streams I could have. And I allowed myself just to, not have any limiting beliefs. And I just listed whatever I could. Then I made a plan from there. And one of my plans in a year is to write a book or have an online course that I can teach. And that is so daunting for me. But I truly believe that if it's something that is in alignment with who I am, I could change lives. And that's what I want to do. So that, and I haven't told anyone, not even my boyfriend, not my family, definitely not. But yeah, that's blowing my mind. Wow.
It's happening. It is happening. It's there. I mean, for you. So
Yes.
that's a window of opportunity that is opening up for you, and it's right there. So I'm so pleased to see that, and I'm so pleased that you're in alignment already with it, because Saturn in the third is also a teacher, and it's
Right.
definitely that position. And in Pisces, it is teaching spirituality. It is teaching unconditional love. It is teaching transcendent thoughts, right? All this and
Mhm.
positive thinking. You're definitely there. Wow, beautiful. I love it. And anything else you want to? I think we kind of wrapped it up. It was pretty straightforward. What do you think? What do you feel? Any questions?
Question would be, how can I best implement these events in my life without obsessing over them? And that's why I love following the way that you inform your audience. It's you encourage us to be intuitive and to set intentions. Um, but I can feel a lot of events that we went over is it's happening, and I want to take advantage of the opportunities. How would you recommend I go about it? Like just taking it day by day, or setting the intentions now and seeing what comes?
Well, for the parts that are unclear, definitely set intention and see what comes. For the
Mm.
parts that you are clear, let's say you just told me about your intention to either write a book or something like that. So make a tentative plan. I would make a tentative plan. I would say to myself, well, I'm not sure what the book is about, but if I would to write a book, I would like to talk about 1, 2, 3, 4. Just make more
Mm.
lists. Be like a Virgo kind of thing. Make more lists and start playing with the ideas, um, and see what comes. Some would be resonating more than others, but I would definitely write, as you said, that when you're writing, suddenly you discover parts of yourself. So making making plans is always a good thing, but sometimes we don't know what the plan is. So we are waiting for the plan to show itself, right? Is this kind of answering the question?
Yes, yes, definitely. I've been doing that more lately in combination with feeling good about it. So not as like a 1, 2, 3 to-do list, but rather I'm really involving my intuition in it. And if one day I'm not feeling like it and I'm looking at the list and being like, that's not working, then I'll find a new way to make a list that actually does work, and I'll feel like things are actionable, etc. And my second question is, how come Scorpio has such a bad rap? I have so many houses in Scorpio, right?
You have so many planets in Scorpio. Yeah.
Oh, planets,
Uh,
yes.
the short answer is because Scorpios are very deep. They're very suspicious. We tend to be very suspicious if we're Scorpio, and they go into sometimes the darkness. And we all have darkness within us. It's not that Scorpio has more darkness, but Scorpio tend to go through darkness into the light. That's their journey. So whenever we see planets in the eighth house, and I myself have a lot of planets in the eighth house, you got to go through darkness. And I think every teacher went through darkness. Every one of us that had tough experiences had to go through the darkness in order to find the light. So that's why Scorpio has such a, and they could be also secretive. They don't like to share their, because they're protecting themselves. It's not that they don't like to share, they're just protective of themselves and of their emotions. They don't want to expose their emotion. They're not that talkative. So they're doing this inner transformation inside. Some people are more talkative than others. So that's part of what you're going through is also scorpionic, right? That you're waiting for some of the transformation to be done before you show it out.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I I have not told my family about what I've done.
There you go. That is a Scorpio thing, right? But that's all right. That's part of you, and accept that as well with love.
Yes, yes. Learning to do so.
Good. Well, it's been a pleasure, really, meeting you and doing this together. Would Is there anything from this conversation that you don't like me to share?
No, I'm very comfortable with everything. If you don't mind, I learned so much. I feel if this can help anyone out there, let it be. But thank you. Thank you, really, Khalid. I really wanted to um, meet with you anyway because I just love your style of teaching. So thank you so much for inviting me to this opportunity. I really appreciate it, and especially in this like transformative time that I'm in. Yeah, I'm a fan of your content, and I will continue to be your supporter.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And just adding on top of that, when I saw that your chart ruler is Jupiter, I said, she's a lucky person. And here it is. You manifested me having reading your chart as the first time that I'm doing that. And you attracted it to your life. So you are a lucky person. Keep that luck going.
Wow, wow. Because my friend and I, 2 weeks ago, we were like, who can we look up to read our birth charts? And I was like, hmm. And I kept looking, and eventually that conversation just drifted off. And then I ran in, of course, I met you through Lior. Then I started following you, and I was like, I really resonate with her. And yeah, I
Wow.
mean,
Wow. So
thank you.
keep manifesting. You're doing good.
Thank
All
you. Thank you.
right. Say thank you so much and God bless. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Take care.
Have a great weekend. Bye bye.
Thank
Thank you so
you too.
much.
Bye bye.